And we are live, and I'm not haven't been dropped yet. Yay!
You've been here for all of 30 seconds, Mike.
Give it time.
Your freaking landline, you still can't make it work.
So, Niko, how are you doing today?
Not too bad.
That's a great introduction.
It's been a kind of a crazy day, but I was running a little bit late too. I meant to be on earlier, but I was telling Ro, my daughter decided to be extra cranky today, and so she ended up actually going to bed slightly early. So that kind of worked out, but it was a fun time.
So, how old is your daughter now?
She turned a year on the 31st of May. So.
Oh my God, it's been a year already. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not the person who will be like 13 months. You just go with year.
I try to approximate. I don't want to be the person like it's 46 and a half weeks and makes you do math and like figure it out.
You generally get to about 2 years. You can do the month thing for about 2 years, and then you're just a douche if you do it after that.
That's fair. That is fair. 100%.
So EL is here. So do you want to get started on your bookshelves now, or do you want
to? Got to see the cover and the inside art of every one of them.
Yes. So, Niko, what have you been reading lately? Let's go with the safe question.
Hold on one sec, Niko. Mike, we should probably introduce guests a little bit.
Okay, so Niko has 5 times as many viewers as we do. So I don't think there's anyone on our show who doesn't know who Niko is. He is a one-name person. I mean, he's just Niko. Everyone knows Niko.
But we might get somebody new. All right, fine. Carry on.
So EL has a question, of course.
We haven't even asked a question yet, so why not?
My favorite book, and how come I haven't reviewed yours? Well, I haven't reviewed yours because I have too many books to read, and I'm so slow to get to review copies, even when people send them to me. So I'm painfully slow right now with getting to them. Favorite book is probably a 3-way tie between. I think I can get all of them. The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
And To Ride Hell's Chasm by Janie Wirtz.
Yeah, I could have guessed that. And is it a Wheel of Time?
None of these are shockers. Well, these are going from like single books. So with Wheel of Time, it's hard to pick a single book. So these are all standalones, which makes it easier. And then Lions of Aurasan, Guy Gabriel Kay.
Okay.
I used to say Monte Cristo for many years, but then now I go with the three tie.
So Ro, just put your 2,580 subscribers. So you have 6 times as many subscribers as us, not just 5.
It's a mystery to me. Oh man,
it's a mystery.
It honestly is. It's a mystery that so many people actually watch my stuff. So it's I just kind of do my thing. I never thought I would make it this far, but people subscribe for some reason. So
you didn't go with the edgy Iowan as your channel name?
I didn't. Maybe I should have. So I have like the most boring basic name ever, and that's where I'm just like a friend of mine was trying to get me to start a channel, and I'm just like, what would I even call it? And he's like, just call it Niko's Book Reviews. And I'm like, that's boring. But then I ended up just doing it, so that's what we've ended up with. But
people can spell it.
I mean, nobody can spell my name anyway, to be honest. So it's it is what it is. But I do think though the fun note about me. So if you guys want tips it might be too late now, but if you want tips to grow, apparently just being somewhat negative on Sanderson is the way to go, because I did a video about Stormlight that was negative, and it has way more views than anything else I've ever done, and is where I've gotten almost 10% of my subscriber count at this point. So
See,
it's
I
a little
think
less than 10% now, but
I've mentioned this before, Mike. We should do reviews of books that we think suck. And everybody's like,
it'll
no,
get you
don't do
attention.
that. That'll, make people feel bad and hurt their little feelings. And
Well, I pretty much only read indie books now, so I don't know that I want to sit there and say this guy sucks.
but I mean, let's face it, Niko. We
You want to know an
bash
indie author that's
everything
sucked,
else.
So, I mean, get a load of this guy. It's
Well,
just
that
ugh.
freaking guy is useless, but his editor kicks ass.
I hear he's barely monolingual.
Pretty much.
Oh.
So it's Sanderson. So bashing Star Wars and Janeway and Harry Potter and Game of Thrones and pretty much everything else we talk about. That's not enough. It's got to be Sanderson. That's the key.
Those things probably help too. So I also don't like Harry Potter or A Song of Ice and Fire, if that makes you feel better.
We don't dislike Harry Potter. It's come up, so let's just ask it. You've read it though, right?
All but book 2 and the last one.
Have you watched the movies?
All but the last one.
So it would be a spoiler if I tell you how it ends. Mike, you're going to blow a blood vessel, man. Your face is turning into a beet.
I mean, I honestly couldn't care less, which is why I never watched the last one. I just never, I just never really cared about it. I was the right age group that I probably should have liked it, but I also started reading Wheel of Time at 11, and then just going back to like a younger reading series just didn't land for me. So I just kind of skipped over a lot of that. I think it's fine.
Harry Potter come out? It's been like 25 years, right? It came out in like 2000, yeah?
I think the late 90s, actually.
Yeah, so I mean, I was like freaking 30 or something.
I'm a little bit younger than you guys. Just a bit.
Everybody's a little bit younger than us. That's fine. We've accepted that. We've moved on from that.
I fit the motif though, so
you're getting there. You betcha. You'll be here soon, by Jesus. So the question was, and maybe it'll be more fun if you haven't read them all. Who is the real hero of Harry Potter? We've had a huge variety of answers on this, and I'll accept most of them.
Isn't it supposed to be it's the Neville Longbottom? He was the real guy.
That's the one I don't really know. He had his one shining moment.
The real hero of Harry Potter is yeah, I don't know.
As if Tim didn't know that's what he's signing up for. Ro, would you like to say who you believe the hero to be?
Oh, I believe it's Snape. But, people have said Dobby and Mrs. Weasley and, any one of a number of other people, and I'm okay with those. Yeah, was the one answer I want to see. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm more likely to be Waffle House than one of them. I'm sure somebody's gotten me to take one of those tests that are supposed to tell you at some point. I don't remember, but Ro, I would say the true hero is whoever you feel inspires you the most. That's the true hero. The true hero is inside of you, and no one can take that away from you.
Excuse me 1 sec. I have to go throw it into a bucket. So, I guess the question I have with your background and the fact that if you have a 1-year-old, you are probably cohabitating. What does she think about all of these books? I mean, is it okay because people send them to you? Or, I mean, you're obviously not planning on moving house anytime soon.
Yeah, so I did have to. I used to have an office. It's now the nursery. So this is my corner of our guest room. And my wife does not like any of the of my types of books that I read whatsoever. She just popped in. She's like, "Are you talking about me?" Yeah, I'm talking about
What does she read?
smut.
And have you not tried writing any of that?
I have
We
joked.
call it romance here in the biz.
I was gonna say dark romance. Yeah. So I have joked and like I made up a plot to one and I'm like, I'm gonna write this and get it self-publish it and not tell anyone and just like send it to TikTokers and then have her read it and really like it and be like, that was me.
You made up a plot? That's new because I don't think they usually do that. They usually just recycle the same half dozen, right?
I mean, it's not a very original plot, but yeah.
Okay. Dear Sir, I never thought I'd have a chance to write a letter like this, but the other day something happened. That's probably for the older group might get that reference a little easier, but anyway.
She's okay, I guess.
So, Niko, I saw one of them where you did books as titles as pickup lines.
That's an old one. That
do tell.
Is that
oh my gosh. So I did a part 2 nobody asked for either where my wife joined in as well, but that is like some people thought it was hilarious and some people hated it so much. It is like my most controversial, like it's not even not the hot takes, it's the pickup lines. That's the one like people either hated it so much or thought it was hilarious. And
what are some of the pickup lines?
Oh my gosh. I probably still have them written down somewhere, but I'm
well, I'm one of the people who absolutely loved it.
Uh-oh.
Did Mike just get cut off?
He's frozen.
Sorry, but... I'm over here making a cappuccino. Mike got... So Mike is got a landline that he's using, and it sucks. So
I gotcha.
The weirdest pickup line I ever heard a guy deliver. He was a special operations guy overseas, and he was drunk at a bar, and he says to this woman, "You know the quickest way to a woman's heart?" And she, of course, is like, "What?" "Through her rib cage." And they all thought that was very funny.
I'm trying to think. I think the only one that's coming to mind is the fourth Dragonlance book is Dragons of Summer Flame, and so I did one that was like, is this true love or just a summer flame? That was one of the tame ones. There were very inappropriate ones too.
Well, we're all about inappropriate. Come on.
I was gonna say we've already started. I'm trying so hard to remember. I definitely did one for the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. You know,
he said
I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay. Yeah, we're 12.
I mean, it was one of the dumbest video ideas I've ever had. I didn't think I'd end up doing a sequel, but ended up.
Well, I just liked how your wife was so very happy to be there the whole time.
Oh, yeah. She agreed to do it, and then she did her own, but like she just hated every minute of it, and that's what made it so funny too.
that's love right there.
Yeah. Oh man, that might be on my other notebook. I have like a legal pad I used to write all of my book stuff on.
So you're not actually writing books. These are just ideas for your show.
Oh yeah, I used to just like write down things, and because I'm super low tech with a lot of it, so I just would like if I'm writing my top 10 books or something, I would just write them down. But no, yeah, I found a while back when we were cleaning things up, I found stuff that I wrote like 10 years ago that I had no memory of. I found some. So we have Looking at You really made my Leviathan wake. Want to see my boat? I call it the Bone Ship. See, I knew that was in there. What's a funnier one? Not all of them are funny.
Hey, we've
Most
been
of
doing
these
this for
aren't.
2 years. You know, if
Yeah,
there's one thing we know, it's not fun.
Yeah, this is our first comic on the show.
Oh, this one was great. So, is your name Wind? Because I'm never going to be finished with you. Name of the Wind, because Patrick Rothfuss is never going to finish the series.
Oh, that's a little too cerebral.
I'm
gotta
pretty.
know
I
something to
don't.
get
How
that
did I
joke.
miss that? How did I miss Dragon Bone Share? Oh my
Nice,
goodness.
EL. Well done.
That is yes. I very much
Say hello to my little hobbit. All right, this is going blue very quickly. We should probably stop.
So this is who we should have had. I'm gonna have to invite EL on to do round 3. Make it extra awkward.
You let me know when that's on. I will be there. Maybe, Mike, what we should do is like we'll find like the 10 cringiest lines in your book.
No, God, no. They're all from chapter 18.
Yeah, they are.
Ooh.
Oh gosh.
So do you have trouble kind of finding topics? I mean, all the time. You've been doing it for 3 years. You've got what? 786 freaking videos, for goodness sakes. What
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a long while, and I used to do a lot of different things. I do just primarily do book reviews at this point, which are easier because I don't do it for everything I read, but stuff that I read stuff all the time. And then I kind of do other stuff here and there, but yeah, it was so incredibly difficult to constantly be coming up with new things. But granted, I didn't. The quality has changed, but I posted my first review in March 6th of 2020. So,
wow.
But I also used to not be on camera. It was just audio. And I had the bright idea to call my channel Audio Book Reviews, not realizing that everyone was going to read that as audiobook reviews. And I had never listened to an audiobook in my entire life until only a few years ago. So got a lot of confused comments. Especially some of the stuff was like older books, and they're like, "Where'd you find an audiobook for this?" She's like, "What are you talking about? I don't listen to audiobooks. What? No."
But if you find yourself kind of going back to old things and redoing them again, because I mean, if it's been 5 years,
Well, and I've tried to like do for like series that I read either around then or like before I was on. I've tried to slowly do like rereads of those and do some buddy reads to get some of that stuff back. But like, I don't really do tag videos anymore. I used to do a bunch of those. They're really easy filler type videos, but I just kind of got bored of doing those.
what's a tag video?
Oh, so like it's like a list of questions, and then at the end you're supposed to tag other people to do it, and so it's like a social thing.
That's why we don't know about it, Rob. It's social.
Yeah, and like they're totally fine. Very occasionally somebody will tag me in one. Usually they'll be like, "Well, I'm going to tag Niko," even though I know Niko doesn't do tags. And so I'll do one very occasionally, but it's like it's fine. It's just I don't know. I kind of I got to the point where I've been doing this for a long time. I also don't really care if I grow or not. I'm not one of those like metrics focused people. I just kind of do my thing. And there are people who like that, and they're the ones who are watching it. And if new people end up watching, cool. If not, cool. As long as like somebody is interested. I just like talking about books, and so it's I just like talking about them.
So, Niko, what is your feeling on Abercrombie? Fan or not?
I also am not a fan because since we're just doing all my hot takes today, apparently, I think he's a fine writer. He's very good at characters, but like First Law was a mess plot wise, and I thought that the standalones were also fine. I never read Age of Madness because I just don't really care again. But like I really Abercrombie, I feel like just gets in his own way because he can't stop himself from just beating you over the head with the sarcasm and that kind of stuff. Because like The Heroes was very nearly a perfect book, but like at the end, he just can't help himself with the sarcasm. And everybody's favorite character in that I could do completely without. But that's still probably my favorite. But so like I didn't hate the books by any means, but I didn't like Last Argument of Kings. I don't think Best Served Cold was very good. Best Served Cold, by the way, because people try to say that that's some amazing revenge thing, that shares a twist with the movie That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, which is you may never heard of because it's a terrible movie that was critically panned. That's the same twist that Joe
What's
Abercrombie
the
used
movie?
for Best Served Cold. That's My Boy.
No,
The
I
plot.
mean, those
Let
two
me.
together, it's not
Oh,
Shakespeare. You know that.
but do you want to know what the plot of the movie is? The plot of the movie is Adam Sandler, when he's 13, sleeps with his teacher and she gets pregnant. And then she goes to prison and he has to raise the kid. And it's a comedy, naturally.
Yeah,
Uh,
they-
that is the plot. So it is it's not a good movie even for that, but it's like it has the same twist as Best Served Cold, and people are like, oh, it's amazing. I'm like, it's not though.
And Andrew, who's the absolute joke of a human being?
I think he means me, but that's okay. It's okay.
My money was on Mike there for a minute.
I
So-
could be.
So, Niko, I have caught so much flack because I tell people that Joe Abercrombie has not figured out what a plot is yet. And I just get tired of, these things happen and then it ends. There is absolutely no plot. I've had people actually yell at me, telling me otherwise, and they clearly just don't know how to read, at least not to comprehend. So, I try hot takes. We don't grow. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's
Again,
just work
what do you care about? I mean, are you trying to write a work of a American masterpiece, or are you trying to make a buck? Right? Because if you're trying to make a buck, write smut. I mean, that's what sells, right? But there are plenty of books there was a Netflix series on about a year ago based on a book called The Power. Did you see it? No? Didn't see it, didn't read it?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. I listened to the audiobook, and about halfway through, I realized that I like the book because I really like the narrator, because I was trying to listen to it as if I were reading it and said I probably wouldn't like it as much. But it had me going up until about 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, oh my God, I think I know how they're going to end this, and it's the biggest cop-out ever, right? And you see that the author was kind of writing themselves into a corner and couldn't figure out how to get out of it, so they just went the nuclear option. Spoilers, literally the nuclear option. And it was just, you could see it coming chapters away. And so, I mean, that got made into a freaking Netflix movie.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I always say too, like
Okay,
I do
we're
have
done.
a lot of Yale's killing it.
He's right on
but
top of his game.
I do have a lot of unpopular opinions, and that's really fine. But a lot of people also don't like my favorite books, and that's okay.
Which
You
is?
know, I mean, like my favorite series are like The Wars of Light and Shadow or The Wheel of Time's up here. You just can't see it because the camera angle. Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, Crown of Stars. A lot of really books that people think are way too long. Mike wouldn't even read them because they're over 300 pages. Yeah, this is like
There's
the
no pictures in 'em.
antithesis. The antithesis of Mike Molman reads. But I love my big long series and all that kind of stuff. And I'm so used to other people not. And so that's where I'm like, it's totally okay. Like, I don't like some things that you like, but you probably don't like the things that I like. And when
Niko,
you overlap, that's
there
nice.
are Comic-Cons all across the country full of people who agree with you.
Oh, I'm sure there.
Yeah.
They
So
certainly
I wouldn't
exist.
worry about that too much. Let's play Master and Commander.
Yeah, I have a feeling that EL's not going to stop.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, let him go.
This is why there was a part 2 to the video, because as soon as you're done, you're like, oh man, I could have done this, I could have done that.
Right.
Oh man. So what are you
Something
reading?
Wicked This Way Comes? Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, there you go. Have you okay? I
It's a
have
classic.
to ask that. But have you heard the song, the Ray Bradbury song?
No.
Because you need to. So the name of the song is quite legitimately "F Me Ray Bradbury." It's gold. It is fantastic, and immediately look it up after this. It'll be stuck in your head for weeks.
Okay.
It's not a
Can you
joke.
guys-
It's real. It's a real song. Andrew knows it's real. That's a line from the song. It does make a "Something Wicked This Way Comes" joke. That's why I thought.
Okay. So let's go on to something not controversial then. Movies. What kind of movies you digging on these days?
So I don't watch a ton of movies, just because I don't have time. We barely
Okay,
watch
that's
TV
fair.
because of the baby. So before you roll your eyes,
Sure, blame your daughter. Nice.
it's her fault. But it's like it's also we usually. I'm trying to think of the last new movie that I saw. It might have legitimately been Dune, for the last like newer movie. But or like I said, my wife and I usually will watch like comedies or like miscellaneous action one. I she doesn't like some of the movies I like, because like my favorite movie of all time is Doctor Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick movie. It's fantastic, but it is very dry humor. The atomic bomb. Yeah, it was I still haven't seen part 2. It was the first one. So it's been a bit, and I saw it very late. But I see everybody's mentioning Sinners. I know what that is, at least I've heard about that one.
Never heard of it.
It's really big right now. It's like a horror movie, I think. But there's an old sensibility with Doctor. Yeah,
Okay.
Doctor Strangelove has. It's so silly. Have you guys seen Doctor Strangelove?
You know, back in the 70s, I think maybe. I don't know.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
It's an old one.
Yeah.
But so it still has one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite lines. I do really enjoy Patane. But there's so the plot of the movie, for the majority of the audience who probably has no idea what I'm talking about, is there's like a Air Force general who goes rogue, and he's crazy, and it takes place during the Cold War, and he institutes sending all of the bombers to Russia, and he has this plan to make it so that they can't be recalled. And so they're trying to go attack the base, take it over, and get everybody recalled. And there's an officer there who's trying to call the president, and he's rescued. And he needs to try to call the president, so he needs to use a payphone, but he doesn't have enough money. And so the commanding officer of the guy who came in is just like super mad about it. And he's like, "Sir," he's a British exchange officer. He's like, "Sir, I need you to break open that Coca-Cola machine so I can get coins to call the president. This is a matter of utmost importance." And the guy's just not having it. So he finally does it. He's like, "You know what I'm going to do if you don't get the president on the phone? I'm going to hold you personally responsible to the Coca-Cola company." And it's just
that kind of
it's
dumb.
just
So sending fighters after the planes never occurred to them, I guess.
it's too they actually do end up trying to shoot some of them down. Also, yeah, "There's no fighting in the war room" is a classic line from that movie too. But it's just it's so good. And it ends up, it's just like there's one plane that like the pilot's particularly good, and they're like, "We're going to complete our mission." But when they try to shoot it down, there's like the circuits get jammed, and so they can't contact them anymore. So they're going to go do their mission no matter what. And it's a black comedy. It's a bit absurd, but it's It's so good. If you like that kind of dry humor, with a wee bit of slapstick in there too, it's so good, so good.
All right, so I want to give you one more chance to prove you're not an old man in disguise.
Totally an old man in disguise.
What's on your turntable?
I have a record collection, so that was not a good one to pick. But I
No,
do
it
at
is.
least. I have a lot of like new metal on LP. But I have multiple turntables, including a beautiful piece from the 60s that is a radio on one side of the turntable and then an old tube TV in the middle that still works. As well.
Nice.
So
It's called an entertainment center. You get them from Sears for like $500, and it takes 4 dudes to bring it into your house because it weighs 800 pounds.
I got mine at a garage sale for $12 because the guy's
Nice.
wife wanted it out of her house finally, and I was the only one who asked about it.
Yeah.
So I was ecstatic. My wife not so much. And then we're like, how are we going to get it home? And they're like, oh, we'll deliver it. And I'm like,
yeah. If you ever have to move, the movers are going to walk into your house and see all the books and that thing, and they're just going to go,
yeah. Well, my book collection has exploded since being in this house, and so that's where moving sounds really bad. But yeah, I do legitimately. I have a record collection. It does range from actually older stuff to really heavy stuff. I have this album on vinyl actually, but it's a power metal band.
What does older stuff mean to you?
I have stuff from the 60s forward. So
Okay.
I figure that 60 plus years counts as older for records.
They have these things on YouTube. It's like guess the name of the. They show you an album cover without any writing on it, and you have to guess the name of the band and the album, right? And so it will go from 1950 to 2020. And my son, who is 23, and I played this game, and from 1950 to about 1990, 91, I absolutely crushed that game. After 91, it's no idea. No, have at it.
I'm a bit mixed because I don't I do listen to a really wide variety of music, from softer stuff to the really crazy heavy stuff. So most of the newer stuff I like is more metal, whereas the further back you go, the more variety I like. But I don't really listen to modern pop or anything. But okay, can we kick him from the chat because
that's my younger brother? So yeah,
I mean,
do
we need to do an exhibit about Tommy James and the Shondells, the most underrated band of the 60s? And
you see, I hate to do this, Mike. I'm going to kind of agree with Dan.
I mean, you didn't say the Beatles, so as long as you're not going to tell us how great the Beatles are, yeah.
No, I mean, there is some legitimately great music in the 60s, right? But as a decade, there's a lot of crap, right? Because there's still a lot of holdover from that bebop 50s stuff that my parents listened to, right? That kind of, these guys that had guitars and were just afraid to, go a little nuts with them. But yeah, the 60s are a little overrated as a decade.
I mean, every decade has a lot of crap, though, is the thing.
Well, yeah,
usually you remember the really good and the really bad, but every decade has a lot of stuff. But
I said I kind of agree with you, Dan.
I do love Tommy James. I also love Frankie Valli. Are my favorite 60s people. Probably, yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. Books, movies, music.
Oh, can I? It's not mine, but can I advertise for a book that came out today?
Sure.
You can get The Witch Roads by Kate Elliott out today, 6/10. I'm waiting for my hardcover that I pre-ordered to come in the mail, but this is my beautiful advance copy, so it's really good.
Can you tell us about Kate Elliott?
So Kate Elliott is super underrated as an author. Also, the author of this Crown of Stars, which is one of my favorites. But this is her return to epic fantasy. It is a duology, and the second book will be out in November, so you don't have very long to wait. But she is a master of world building and really interesting characters. Stuff is a bit slower. Go figure, because it's a book that I'm recommending. It's very common. So yeah, it's you jump in and you start to get glimpses, and then the world builds out, and you dig deeper into the characters. But expansive world building and deep character stuff is what she's known for, especially.
So Niko, I have a question for you. What was it like when you were reading a book that happened to have Nikos as a character, Andros is his partner in crime? How did that feel?
So that was so fun, because this Desperate Dispatches, for the record here.
You are shameless, Mike. Absolutely freaking shameless.
So, well, I mean, Ben did ask multiple times for me to talk about this, to be fair, but so this is let's say a fun series anyway, but I was dying, especially because it's not even just like the name, but it's the interaction that Mike puts me and Andrew in here, and we're just like bickering and yelling at each other, and it's just was like spot on for how we would totally act in the situation.
There's a little Rosencrantz and Guildenstern dynamic between those two.
It was really fun though. So I just like I knew something was coming, but I didn't know the full thing of it, and I just get there and I loved it. I had so much fun with it. It just it was really, really fun. So he sent me his books, if that counts, but I actually I bought this one though. This is the one I'm in, and I did buy that one.
The ball patch on the back of Niko's head. He donated plugs for Mike.
All right, bravo.
So I just have to tell, because I saw that Bengus is here, Ben Khan. He is actually in my next book that's coming out next month. He is a anthropology professor at New Jersey State University.
Oh, is that him?
Yep, that's him.
Anthony?
He's only in the first chapter though. So then his student goes on to eclipse him.
Oof.
But
he's that guy.
I was gonna say because he was in. I sent him a picture, and it didn't tell him what it was of in here, and he didn't know. And he's like, "I've never seen my name in something before," and I'm like, "I mean, I'm pretty sure this is literally you."
Yeah.
There are lots of ways to get your name in. I mean, punch a cop. You'll get your name in all kinds of stuff, right? There's ways to do it.
I was gonna say I'm now, I think, in 2, maybe 3 fantasy books.
Nice.
In some shape or form. Now, the funny thing is, the Kate Elliott series I was talking about, Crown of Stars, happens to be one of my favorites. Completely unrelated, but there are characters called Little Nikos and Big Nikos, which is still pretty close. And so that's just always made me laugh. That I'm like, what are the odds of that? But
so EL asked if I could be a character in his book, and apparently I flayed people alive in his book. So yeah, be wary if EL approaches you. You want to. You want to know, get some more details first.
Yeah, you're going down a bad road one way or another. Hey, to borrow a line from Mike, Niko, I have a question. Do you feel that after 3 or 4 times, people putting your name in their book to butter you up to get the cheap guest appearance or book showing on your channel that's wearing a little thin, and you're at the point now where you want some freaking cash?
I mean, I have no illusions, despite what all of the spammers who send me emails regularly about how many thousands of dollars I could make on YouTube if I just work with them. I'm under no illusions that I'm going to make anything from this, nor do I ever expect to. But honestly, like, I mean, with the real part of it is like the fact that anybody has Tuckerized me and put me in a book is just like amazing to me. And so it's so cool, like just that anybody would want to do that. So I mean, it's pretty awesome. But I also like it's only happened for people that I've already like read their books, reviewed them, and probably had them. Yeah, I think I've already had on like my channel anything anyway. So you're getting those perks anyway. If you write an interesting book, and especially as a bonus, if you're interesting to talk to, they're pretty good odds you end up you end up on the channel at some point.
I think it's
I
shameless
also
plugging up.
though I was gonna say I'm very honest in my reviews though, so I've definitely given negative reviews to review copies, and I'm better about DNFing them sometimes now as well. But so that's where you do have to, if you send me a review copy, you have to know that I'm not one of those automatic 5 stars people either. It's gonna be whatever I actually think it's gonna end up being though.
So, without naming names, have you had any authors who got very irate with you with your reviews?
For the most part, I have been actually, I feel like pretty lucky with people being understanding, but there have been a few. The one that I think is the funniest, I legitimately don't remember the name, but the book was okay. It got like 3 stars. It wasn't great, wasn't bad, but the design was terrible. And I told the guy, I'm like, hey, this is pretty decent. And I praised a few things. I gave some critiques, but I just said that like it wasn't even that it was just like a bad cover design. It was like blown up and blurry and like looked
Oh.
awful. And he got so mad at me for pointing that out. And I'm like, okay, like, I mean, everyone who ever sees this is going to see this. And so this was years ago too. But I'm just like, but I've had other people who just like, kind of wanted to argue. And you can always tell when they want to argue, but I'm like, hey, here's the feedback, here's this. And it's just it's always awkward. It's more awkward though if it's somebody that I like am friendly with and I don't like their book, which has also happened. And so I prefer, it's nicer when I end up reading the book and then getting to know the author after versus the other way, because then it's always awkward if I don't like their book. And so it's interesting for sure. But most people have been pretty cool. Even the people who I've had fairly negative reviews for have been pretty cool with it.
How long did it take you to get where you think you're good at giving book reviews? Because I started trying to do that now, and it's like, this book is gooder than I thought. The end. And, I'm like, it's so hard.
To this day, I don't know if I count as a good book reviewer, because like I'll watch some people who are like amazing at it and I'm like, why am I not even close to this good? So there are definitely people who are much more eloquent and better spoken than I am. I, though, just did it over time. Speaking of people who have taken forever to get to their review copies, I'm not sure how long it's been, but it's been a long time. But so anyway, but I just sort of did it. And like I just started rambling and talking, and like my oldest reviews were just super rambly and everything like that. And then I started scripting for a while. And with the script, I felt like I was more so getting what I wanted, but then it was also like, oh, I can't film a review because I got to write the script first. And I got kind of sick of doing it. And so I just eventually, I just kind of got to where I am, where I just sort of go off the cuff, but I also like have a general idea what I want to talk about. And so if I like, there have been a couple times where I'm like, I'm doing a review and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm coming off completely incoherent here or not, but I'm kind of just the casual, here are my thoughts, here's what I think was good or bad, here's my subjective opinion, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And so, I think it works out. Enough people tend to like the reviews, and it's fine. But
I think if you're natural about it, I think people see a lot of value in that, especially if you don't say every book is sunshine, right? I think if you say, look, here's a book by, if it's not an indie, that's just not good, right? But you may like it. I mean,
yeah,
there are people who don't like really good books. I mean, there are people who don't like objectively good books. And then there are people who like Hemingway, right? So you never know, and people need to kind of get over that. But I'm not going to discount a book just because one reviewer says it blows, right? Now, if
Yeah.
there are 50 reviews and 40 of them say it sucks, yeah, there's a pretty good chance it sucks. But if one of them says it's the worst thing he has ever read since, a bathroom at the New Jersey airport, I'm probably going to check that book out, right? Just to see if it is that bad.
I have there's my wife showing up in here. That is legitimately the reason I started doing book stuff, is because I just had nobody to talk to about books, and I wanted to just talk about books. But I actually have picked up many a book based on negative reviews. Like my sweet spot for finding a book is it's between 2 and 4 stars, because you can only believe the 5 stars so much, and you can only believe the 1 stars so much. There are 1 and 5 star books, and I will use those as well. But if you're trying to get an idea, it's between the 2 and 5. And I can't tell you how many times I'm reading this 2-star review. They're like, oh my gosh, this book is it's long and it's so slow and it takes forever to get going. And it's just spending so much time with the world building. And I'm like, what is this book? Because I've many a book where I'm like, yeah, I get interested because of negative reviews. And like the book I was holding up earlier, The Witch Roads, every negative review is like, it just felt a little bit slow. I felt like we were spending too much time at the world and it took too long to like find out what was going on. I'm like, yeah, I like that. So it's just, you kind of, you have to find those things. And it's just, you find your sweet spot. But I try to be constructive in my negative reviews and be like, hey, this didn't work for me because, but it might work for you. Like I read something fairly recently that was a patron pick, and I did not like it. I gave it 2 stars, and I gave it a negative review, but then immediately I recommended it to 3 people I know that I'm like, you're going to like this because of these reasons. Because it was just, it was something that I knew other people would like, and I just wasn't my taste.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it.
So, Niko, I want to take the opportunity to ask the question so that Ro can laugh at me again. Although I'm holding out hopes for you, Niko, you're going to answer correctly. You're going to answer correctly. So, you are going down the main drag of your city. You are in a saddle, and that saddle can either be on a T-Rex or a Griffin. Which one do you choose, and why?
Oh,
good. He didn't jump to one answer right away, so that's good.
Okay, well, so this is hard because I absolutely was like the 6-year-old who wanted to be a paleontologist and loved dinosaurs, and I still am very fond of dinosaurs. The T-Rex is not the coolest dinosaur though, and I feel like would be a little bit unwieldy to sit on. But also, like, the fantasy nerd in me is like, riding a griffin would be pretty cool. So that is a really difficult question. I don't feel like there was a wrong answer, but
Yeah,
I see. I kind of feel like I have to go with Griffin because they can fly, and that adds to it. But I also would like being on a T-Rex would be amazing. So I'm like, I don't know, like I both. If I can have like a hybrid Tyrannosaurus Griff Rex would be pretty cool.
A pterodactyl.
Pterodactyls are badass. So.
Maybe that's what you got to change it to, Mike. A griffin or a pterodactyl?
I'm choosing pterodactyl.
I might take the pterodactyl.
Or the you can like the Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah.
It's like a pterodactyl, but 10 times bigger and scarier looking. So.
And if you pronounce it wrong, it sounds vaguely rude.
I did. I still went with Griffin, I think, but if it would have been a dinosaur that I'm more fond of, it would have been harder.
So now I have to ask, what is your list of dinosaurs preference?
Jesus.
I'm still partial to the armor-plated dinosaurs, your Stegos, your Ankylos. There's just for some reason something about those are just super cool.
Aren't they like food?
They're armored so that they're not food as much,
unless you tip them over.
I'm just saying, especially knowing again that I'm a fantasy nerd. Like, yeah, Tyrannosauruses are cool, but thinking about like an Ankylosaurus like slamming around, or like the Stego that's got the flail on its tail, basically. I mean, like, come on, like.
I'm going to say the most Gen X thing I could possibly say here. I want to ride a Calvinosaur. And if you don't know what that is, you're much younger than me. Anybody in the chat know what a Calvinosaur is? A Calvinosaurus? Whatever. No.
I'm assuming this is from Calvin and Hobbes.
It absolutely is.
I,
Yes.
I was gonna say you were making me feel like it was a trick question, because I'm like, is it not from Calvin?
No, it absolutely is Calvin and Hobbes.
You
It's the
scared me
greatest
for a
cartoon
minute.
strip ever.
But you can also do fantasy dinosaurs, though, because this book has fantasy dinosaurs in it.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Jesus, EL.
This is a family show, EL. Come on.
Oh, not tonight. It never is, really. It's all right. That's okay. Now, you haven't written a book. Are we going to do the ball dome here, Mike? How are we going to play this?
You
Pick a character from his favorite book, I guess.
Yeah. He needs to think about it so I can get this ready.
Okay, you get things ready. So we normally ask an author to pick one of their characters so we can learn a little something about their characters without, spoiling the book. But you're going to have to pick a character from a book that you like or hate. We don't care. Just a memorable character that you think would be fun to possibly kill or, do something else with. And I will ask you, have you ever played D&D?
So I have never actually played it, although it's just surprising, I know. But I'm somewhat familiar, I'll say.
Okay. Well, Mike has never played either, so this should work just swimmingly.
And Rogue was last a DM in the 80s, I think. So,
Yeah, a long time.
Okay.
It's one of those things. I have no idea why I've never, but I actually just did a top
because you don't have
video
time, man. That's the
I mean,
big drawback with D&D is it takes freaking forever.
I feel like the time is a big thing, but also like if I would have known people who did it, I probably would have done it. But
so you got to pick.
What's that?
I saw the comment writing a herd of compies would feel pretty special too. I'm just picturing they're like the really tiny ones. I'm just imagining that in my head right now. It's glorious.
All right. So while Mike is finishing, you're in old medieval whatever. You go into the old potion shop, and there is a bargain bin of potions. They're essentially free. You can pick one, but none of them have labels, so you don't know what they do. So pick a color, any color.
Oh, I've seen this one. I will go with green.
Okay.
Green fizzy potion. Now we need a character who you want to torment in the Bald Dome.
So I have to. Okay, if we're tormenting.
Well,
it
could be a hero. You could torment them. If you want to put your spin on a character that you've read, and you're like, you know what they should have done. This is your chance. Pick that character.
Should have taken the freaking Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm trying to not go with the obvious answer and go Matt from Wheel of Time. So why don't we do a more recent favorite character, and we'll go with Hanuvar from the Hanuvar Chronicles, Book 1, Lord of the Shattered Land.
What can you tell us about this person?
So Hanuvar is sort of like an alternate Hannibal. He is older and very seasoned as the general of his people, and as the wars have ended, he no longer wants revenge. He just wants to save the last remnant of his people and find them a new home. But he's always getting into cosmic horror situations and other kinds of things. So he's pretty used to having the mix.
That's Admiral Adama from Battlestar Galactica.
Probably there could be some similarity.
Home. What's that?
I said there could be some similarity.
Okay, so who is this again? I should have written this down.
Hanovar.
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 Like handlebar, but different.
Okay, so Hanovar has been transported away from his world. He does not bring any of his weapons with him. It's a family show, so he has a tunic, but that's it.
Breach clout.
Okay. So, is he a magic user or a cleric or anything like this, or just a warrior? No. Okay.
He's just awesome at stuff.
Okay.
He's very wise and strong.
Okay, so the wise and strong Hanovar has now been transported to. Hold on, and all these came from ChatGPT. So here is the setting: Ice Palace. The gleaming citadel of ice stands in stark contrast to the endless tundra, its spires glinting like diamonds under the winter sun. Inside, frozen statues of warriors line the halls, and the throne is carved from a single glacier that dominates the grand chamber. Encased in ice along the walls are jeweled scepters and crystal-adorned crowns, guarded by frost wolves who howls echo like shattering glass. So he is in the Ice Palace. And I'm not reading that again. He has a green fizzy potion that, let me see what it does. I'm not going to tell you yet. Okay. Now he has a choice to make. He can either choose a common item and he'll face a common animal, or he can choose a weapon and he'll face a fantasy creature. And it doesn't necessarily have to be to the death. He's going to turn a corner. He's going to see whatever. They're going to look at him, and then you take it from there and tell us what happens.
Can I choose the stuff?
So, Niko, what does Hanovar want? Does he want a common item or does he want a weapon?
I got it.
I say Hanovar's going for a weapon for sure.
You have an arquebus.
Excuse what?
An arquebus.
An arquebus?
Yeah. It's like a giant musket with like a freaking trumpet horn kind of barrel. It will do great damage if you're about 6 inches away from something, but
well, 7 feet 6 inches because the reach.
Yeah,
he's more of a bladed weapon kind of guy, but he'll figure out how to use whatever he gets. I'm sure.
This is the Baldone. You take what you get.
Yeah.
So, because he chose the weapon, he does not face a polar bear, which would have been appropriate. Oh God, we've never had a 14 before. He faces a massive dragon.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
We're not off to a great start.
I'm reading up on arquebus. It's not as bad as I thought.
So Hanovar is there. He's looking at the scepters and the crowns and the ice and listening to the wolves whose howls sound like broken glass or whatever it was. And he thinks it's beautiful music. And then he turns because he hears something behind him, and lo and behold, let's go with a white dragon because, it's in the polar region. There's a white dragon who is trying to sneak up upon him. It's on all fours. Its head is down low.
Wait. The dragon is sneaking like a cat?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Sure. Why not?
And
You'd never feel that coming, would you?
The white dragons, they're smaller, right?
How big?
Okay, here. Let me roll.
Is it bigger than a bread basket?
Yes. Yes, it is. And I shouldn't have rolled because I rolled a 7.
Is it the size of a donkey, Mike?
It's still a youngish one. It's only about the size of a buffalo.
Oh, okay. You're going to kill a baby dragon.
I was going to say, I like his, but he, it's Hanovar, so he's going to try and is it intelligent?
Sure.
Dragons gun the gamut. Sometimes they can talk and are very intelligent. Sometimes they're more bestial. I don't know.
This is an adolescent dragon, so it's as smart as an adolescent.
So angsty teenage dragon.
Yes. It's trying to sneak up on the warrior with whatever blunderbuss or whatever it is he has.
Arquebus. It's essentially a musket. It's like a matchlock musket.
But it has like the big fluted horn on the end,
No,
right?
it doesn't actually.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's disappointing.
it is a little bit. Yeah,
Oh,
you
well.
could probably get about 2 shots a minute.
2 shots a minute. Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, but it will go through plate mail, so it should go through a baby dragon whose scales haven't hardened yet. Being the dragon expert that I am, I know that for a fact that they haven't hardened yet. It's like that little line on your nugget there doesn't harden until you get a little older.
So what does Hanivar do now that he's turned and he sees the dragon who is trying to sneak up on him?
Take out a ball of yarn. Laser pointer.
Definitely gonna try to dodge out of the way and then try to reason with it, or determine if he can reason with it, I guess I should say.
The dragon's name is Josephine. She wants to know what he's doing in her place.
This is going to go back to the beginning of this conversation at the top of the hour, isn't it?
Oh God.
Damn you, Michael.
The ice walls aren't the only thing that's hard. Is that an icicle in your pocket, or no? Okay. I'm so sorry.
Perfect timing. You could not have asked for better timing on the clock. We lost like 5 people in the last 2 minutes.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Just put her in a box. I'm sure she'll be all right.
Yeah, she won't fall off a bridge or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So Josephine, the teenage dragon, asks Hanuvar why he has come into her castle, and Hanuvar's probably going to say something like he's just trying to find one of his people whom he heard was captured and being kept in the ice castle.
Okay. DM? Or am I playing just?
Oh, you want me to do something now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're actually in the castle.
Yes.
Mike, give me a 17 or better, Mike.
You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
7.
Yeah. That was for something else other than your buddy. The young dragon lady just kind of licks her lips a little bit and says, "Could you describe them?" I'm gonna go on Gurgi here on you in a minute.
Oh, Gurgi. So okay, this is a complete aside, but I was so disappointed hearing how the audio narrator for Prydain does Gurgi, because I do Gurgi like Gurgi with the crunchings and the munchings, and he does it in like a really low voice, but that's my Gurgi voice whenever I read it. But
that's the Disney Black Cauldron Gurgi.
I've probably seen that movie, but I have no memory of it.
I watched that movie like 3 months ago.
I should.
Damn Disney Plus.
I think my wife has it. I was looking for a description of somebody.
She's like, so you don't know these people very well, and they're supposed to be your friends?
Yeah, he's like about 5'10", yay high, dark hair, kind eyes.
What kind of eyes?
Oh shoot!
What was he wearing?
Speech. The dragon's not going to understand that, of course.
She starts picking out her teeth with one of her talons. What was he wearing?
His blue tunic and a tan breech clout.
Oh yeah, he's not here anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry. We can go have a look for him if you like, but
Hanivar started to get suspicious.
But was it the saliva running down her face?
A little bit. A little bit.
Stay right there. I've got something I want to show you. And she scurried on.
Wait, is she slipping into something more comfortable?
You can go try to find out. I double dog
All right.
dare you.
So she's skittered away. Which way did she go?
It's a freaking dragon, man. Just follow the dragon.
Well, I don't want to follow the dragon. I want to go past the dragon, deeper into the castle to look for Jeff.
So you can go up the stairs. Now, why there are stairs in a dragon castle, I don't know.
All right, I'm going up the stairs.
Right, go up the stairs. And
am I rolling to see things, or we just?
But he's just walking up the stairs. I don't know what he's going to do now.
Hey, you are up the stairs.
You are on the landing. It's one of those Jethro Bodine stairs. You kind of got a staircase going up, and then it splits off into two.
Okay.
So now you're up on the mezzanine level of the castle.
Handlebar, sweetie, where'd you go?
I think we're gonna ignore the dragon and keep looking for Jeff. I've decided the guys we're looking for is Jeff for no reason.
Piano music, you've seen Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah.
You know when they tiptoe and you get that little piano music?
Yeah.
That's the music you hear in the background. You can take that to mean what you want.
This is going in some strange directions.
Handlebar. She's coming into the thing down by the bottom of the steps.
Okay, is there any like passageways? Can I go further? Have anywhere I can go?
Yeah, you can go left or right up the next set of stairs.
Oh, the stairs. Okay, I thought you just meant it stops. Okay, well, okay, we'll keep going up the stairs then.
Okay.
Can I summon the lesser dodo?
I don't know. Can you?
I think you should. I mean, it's not exactly a desert oasis. But,
wait a minute. Is this something the character can do in the book?
No, this is
that.
creature creation.
You know what, Mike? If you roll a 15 or better, I'll give it to you because it's dry.
3.
Yeah. Not only do you not do that, okay, but you blow a hole in the floor right in front of you, and she goes, "Oh, there you are!" And she starts. You ever see Pepe Le Pew? That's how she's coming up the stairs. You think she's wearing lipstick, but you're not really sticking around long enough to find out.
All right. So I'm gonna look straight at Josephine and in my most sternest dad voice, tell her to go to her room because she's grounded.
Are you coming with me, big boy?
I'll be right behind you, I promise.
I won't say it. I will not say it.
I choose my words so carefully.
She notices you're not following her, and she turns back around to you, and you can see she's a little irate.
I thought her name was Josephine. But okay. Bad joke. Okay. So
and she huffs off and she runs back to where she came from and said, "That's it. You've had your chance." So
okay.
She'll be gone for about 30 seconds.
All right. So at this
and
point,
you're crashing in the kitchen.
I'm assuming that Jeff is no longer alive based on the earlier conversation. So I'm going to make a dash for the front and try to leave the castle.
Okay, you do that. Mike, give me 8 or better.
It's going to be like -4.
3.
You fall down the stairs.
I rolled a 7, a 3, and a 3 so far.
Maybe I need to start trying to mess up. and then Mike will roll badly, and I'll succeed by accident.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You'll kick ass. You're at the bottom of the stairs. You're pushing yourself up onto your feet, and she comes out, and she's holding in each of her hands, which are larger than a T-Rex's, so they can actually extend out far enough to do something useful. You know those little things you stick in a corn cob?
Yeah.
She has a couple of those, but they're really big. And you can see smoke starting to come out of her nostrils.
All right.
Ooh, you fell down, poor boy. Are you hurt?
So I'm going to try to really slowly walk backwards.
Back up the stairs?
Really slowly.
Great plan. Okay. You do that, and she walks, so she is now in
Wait,
front of you.
I need a
between you-
roll. Come on.
Huh?
You're not letting me cheat. Come on.
Sure. Go ahead and roll. Mike, give me an 8 or better to back up the stairs without killing yourself.
11.
Woohoo!
I needed a low number. I was trying to have it my goal was to be so bad at doing that I run forward really fast past her. That was my hope.
Thank you, Cinna. So now the dragon with saliva running down her mouth, messing up her lipstick, and smoke starting to come out of her nostrils, and the 2 giant corn on the cob things, and she's just looking at you like she is going to eat you up.
You
right.
still have your weapon and your potion.
Yeah. And she starts approaching slowly.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about the weapon. Okay. I feel leery about the potion because I've seen this show before, and I know they usually don't go well.
Sometimes they go great.
So I'm going to.
You can throw it at her too. It will work on her.
So I'm going to point my aquabus. I know that's not the right thing, but that's close enough. I'm going to point it and give her a final warning that I don't want to hurt her, but she needs to let me leave.
She roll me an initiative check, Mike. 10 or below, he gets it. 11 or above, I get it. That's not the way initiative checks work, I know.
14.
He only rolls high numbers when it's bad for me. That's what I'm seeing here. These rigged allegations are starting to make sense.
So she takes her wings really quick and does this kind of thing to try to knock you over. 16 or better, Mike. He's on stairs, so lose a little bit.
8.
Okay. You stand your ground like a man. You look like a Minuteman with a gun on the floor. And you just... So, your go, I guess.
All right. So I'm going to reluctantly fire. And as soon as I do, I'm going to dive forward and tackle her.
Interesting option. Okay. So you're this close, 13 or better to hit?
11.
Of course.
You winged her. She is pissed. Now she's just straight up pissed.
And now you're going to tackle
The
her.
smoke is starting to come out a lot now. And give me a perception check, 8 or better.
13.
Yeah, you do start noticing a lot of little black spots on the wall. So you're figuring the fire's coming. She just has to build it up a little bit because she's young.
Okay.
But she's going to walk towards you now. Are you going to back up?
Well, I tried to tackle her. What happened with the tackle?
Oh, that's right. You tried to do that. That's a dumbass move. Okay.
I mean, I assumed I wouldn't roll high enough to actually shoot her
Sure.
effectively. So I was
11,
trying
Mike.
for...
11.
Let's see what happens with the tackle.
2.
Does that mean like I accidentally punch myself in the face or something?
You go up to tackle her. What you end up doing is wrapping your arms around her neck in a very loving embrace.
Has this impacted her
care.
mood for the better?
What's that?
Has this impacted her mood for the better?
Yes, it has. Yeah, she's dropped one of the corn cob holder things. and she's starting to kind of nuzzle your head like a cat.
I'm
glad it's not a male dragon.
This is okay.
That's Tinder date. Thanks, Neil.
All right, so I am going to tell her that I really have to pee and I don't want to do it in the castle. So ask if she's cool if I run outside first. That's what we're going with.
17 or better, Mike. Perception check for the dragon.
9.
Yeah, don't be long. Come right back.
Okay.
Come right back, sweetie. And she kind of follows you out. She's not like right next to you, but she's going to keep tabs on you.
Okay. So what's the landscape immediately outside of the castle? Like?
Tundra.
Oh, that's right. It is tundra. So cool. So it's super flat and there's nowhere to hide. Awesome.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm going to, as I get out and I see that she's still watching me, I'm gonna chuck the potion at her and then just sprint away as fast as I can.
All right, Mike, what's the potion do?
The elixir of Featherfoot, a light, airy green potion that tastes of mint, grants the ability to walk on water and soften falls from any heights.
Ooh. And now she's kind of floating after you. You still have a sword, right?
No.
I say he said I didn't take any of my weapons.
Yeah.
I should have picked up one of the corn cob holders.
Yeah, think fast because she's pissed again. She's very temperamental. You should have Cinna roll for you.
Apparently. Can I have Cinna roll for me instead of Mike for the next one?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the best call anyone's made in this game yet.
Is there anything but just flat tundra? Any like glaciers or
sure, there's stuff
waterfalls,
whatever you want.
There's a crevasse.
Okay. All right. So here's the plan. And we're gonna have Cinna roll for this. Okay. So I'm running. She's mad. She's floating after me, but she's very elegant and can slide. So the thing is, I'm gonna run for the crevasse, and then she's gonna be chasing me. I'm going to stop abruptly and then like jump onto the ground flat and hope that she has too much momentum from being so feather light that she just goes flying in and then falls into the crevasse.
Okay, let's do that.
Am I rolling or is Cinna?
Let Cinna roll.
Okay, well, I rolled, but we'll let Cinna tell us what she rolled.
I was going to say Mike's is bad. All right, Cinna, roll me something good.
I don't think she did, judging by the emojis there. Nope.
Now, do you want to go with my roll?
Well, I want to know what she got first.
What have I gotten myself into?
J4. Good God, man. You know what? I'm going to give it to you anyway, because I need to go to bed. I have to get up at 4:30.
So I rolled a 16 that time.
Oh, beautiful. So you run and you slide and you skitter right up to the edge like the Dukes of Hazzard, and she goes right past you and drops a few feet, and then oh yeah, she has wings. She's a freaking dragon. She can fly.
I thought she would like hit it and like tumble down. She's an adolescent. She can't be that good of a flyer.
There you go. Cinna rolled an 18, so I think your scenario looks more likely now. Her head hit this other side of the crevasse.
She's over the crevasse. She's looking at you. Mike, first time, 16 or better, Mike. Or do you want Cinna to roll it?
Cinna.
I was gonna say I feel like I'm gonna get better with Senna, but for the sake of time, I will just take whatever Mike gives me.
Okay, well, I rolled a 11, so I re-rolled it, and I rolled a 4. So
Okay,
even
so
combined.
she gets a little fire out, but not a lot yet, and it doesn't quite reach you. You can feel it; it's warm, but didn't quite get to you. But she's just totally pissed now. She will eat you soon, and not in the good way. She's coming for you.
All right.
Big sharp teeth.
I guess. Oh, she got another 18.
That
Yeah, I
wouldn't
want
have helped
Senna to
you
roll
because
for
I
me.
was. If she
Oh,
would
you
give
that
me
was
the-
for
yeah, it was
okay.
for the dragon to hit. That's why I
All
gave
right.
it such a high number. I knew Mike would never get that.
I'm going to I'm gonna try to take one last shot with my musket.
Well, you got it. Sure, go ahead and reload that bad boy. Mike,
I secretly reloaded
17 or
while I
better
was
this
running.
time, Mike. 5. Yep, another little.
I would say if we're going with 17 or better, that's got to be a Senna roll.
It's no, this was for the dragon again because it takes a long time to load one of these. So another
Oh,
a little thing of fire hits you, but she's getting closer. She's in it for drama effect now. She's not just like
Well,
lunging out and eating you like she absolutely
Okay.
could.
yeah, but the getting closer is good for my aim because it's the musket's not the
Sure.
best for aiming.
So how many times do we have to miss before we end up calling it a tea party?
No, we're going to be done here real soon, one way or
Mike,
another.
your
I got
rules
you.
here?
That's my last shot. I don't think I have
Yep.
a lot of chance if I miss here. So
Okay, you Richard Sharp that thing. You just tap it down without a ramrod and go.
17.
Oh my God, you hit it.
Let me roll long enough, and I'll get a decent roll. I mean, that was 10 rolls.
She comes out of the sky and lands on the ground. She is still within very close to you. And now she's bleeding and it's all down her lovely white scales. And you thought she was pissed before? Oh, dude. And now she's just like stomping towards you. She got about 2 steps to get there. What are you going to do?
Oh
Run
gosh.
away. Run away.
I was gonna
My
say-
headphones have just died, by the way. So hurry up.
Oh no. Do I have a holy hand grenade? No, I'm just kidding.
Mike, you give me a 19 or 20, we will get you a holy hand grenade.
12.
No, you don't.
All right.
But coming out from one of the little side paths that you never went down is a little frost sprite. Okay? And she's there with the RSPDA, the Royal Society for the Protection of Dragons. And she starts laying into you. And another couple of sprites come out and start bandaging up the dragon, and she's just leading you out. She's basically just right up in your grill, and you just keep walking backwards until a portal opens and you can leave.
Okay.
My headphones are dead.
Okay, well, we'll take.
That was our version of spew. From Harry Potter, J4, Harry Potter.
Oh man.
All right. Niko, it has been fun. Mike, I'm glad you finally made it in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mike is going to try to get you to have him on your show so he can relentlessly plug his books again because he has no shame at all.
None at all.
To the folks who joined us tonight, thank you very much for putting up with this jackassery for an hour and a half. We really appreciate it. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, please do. And I am going to let you take it out of here, Mike, and I will bid you guys adieu.
Okay, it is time to wave awkwardly.